Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and into another video. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sue. We love to have you as part of our family here on YouTube. And for those of you guys who are returning to me, thank you so much for watching another video of mine. It really does mean the world to me. I'm looking around in the background, make sure I don't have anything inappropriate out. So what we're going to do today in today's video is I've had several requests for a video showing you guys how I get ready like first thing in the morning for work, and I'm doing it in my living room because I don't know why my autofocus is not autofocusing. Can anybody tell me why? Let's see if I can fix that. We have, what was I saying? Oh yes, I get 3 kids ready for school, get them to school, and then I have to try and get myself ready. And I like sleep, okay? So I sleep to the very second that I have to get up, okay? So a lot of times when I go to work, depending on how much time I have in the morning, I usually put sunscreen on, a moisturizer sunscreen, and maybe some mascara, and that's about it. But today I'm going to, on like a normal average day of me getting up and having enough time to at least put a little bit of makeup on. Now I'm a very busy lady, as you guys can see. If you guys watch my channel, you guys know that I have a lot of things happening in my life. So what I'm going to share with you guys is just a simple, quick, easy look. Just to give you guys a reference, I am 40 years old, so I have a lot of lines here. I have really dark under circles, which I really don't try to correct because my skin underneath my eyeballs, you guys can see here, is really sensitive. They have a lot of discoloring to them, and I probably should get filler, but you know, I have kids that I have to put through college first, and it's just not my top priority. I'm okay with aging. Whenever I was 25, 30, I wasn't okay with aging, but now I really am. So anyway, we're going to share with you guys some of the products that I use, everyday products that I use, and we're just going to do a really quick, simple get ready with me. I try to film in my bathroom, but I have a light switch in there that's connected to the fan, and I can't unhook the fan. So I'm doing it here in my living room. Normally I wouldn't be in my living room getting ready, but in my bathroom, but I don't want you guys to hear that background noise. So we're just gonna do it right here, okay? The first thing that I always put on, and what I've really been loving lately, is this Murad. This is the Essential C Day Moisturizer with SPF 30 in it. I generally always put some kind of SPF moisturizer on my face first, and I've already done that. So I'm just going to show you what I put on my face first. I like to put my moisturizer on and then give it a couple minutes before I start putting anything else on. I find that if I try to do it real quickly, then as I'm putting other products on, they tend to sink further into these fine lines and circles. I just have a little sample tube I'm trying to get rid of. I do have a full-size tube of the Professionals primer here. The Professional primer. I do have a big tube. I purchase this all the time, but I got this in one of my subscription boxes, so I'm just going to use this little baby tube up, and I usually just put it under my eyes and on my nose here. Whenever I was younger, I had really oily skin, but now I have really dry skin. Plus, my major thing on my face is I have Mila all in the areas on my cheeks. You guys can see these red spots here. This is from Mila coming out. I use a retinol on my skin from dermatologist, and that retinol makes those little Milas pop open. And I had quite a few of them going on. I used to, when I was younger, get a whole like enzyme treatments and all that stuff to keep those millas away. My skin on my face just doesn't exfoliate the way that it should. So you guys can see here, I have all these little millas in here. And these ones were just quite a bit bigger, and they have come up because I've been using retinol. So normally when I go to work, I don't generally put foundation on. I generally don't wear foundation at all. But I have, I picked up this Wet n Wild dewy foundation that all the beauty gurus are showing on their what is this? This is YouTube and Instagram. I've been seeing it everywhere. So I did pick up a bottle, and I'm just going to give it a try. I have here my Luxie sponge that I got in BoxyCharm, I think. And I'm just going to put a little bit on. Like I said, normally I do not put foundation on because I do have all these little spots from where those millas are coming out. Is it milia or is it just milla? Anyway, otherwise known as milk spots. And I'm just going to try this foundation out. Like I said, I generally do not, absolutely do not use foundation most of the time because my skin is just older, and I find that it just prohibits me a little bit in my skin. I'm gonna use this mirror down here. If you see me looking down. And I'm not a heavy foundation wearer. I just like a little bit of coverage just to kind of even my skin out. And you can see that this foundation here probably is not going, it's a light foundation, so it's not meant to cover up all these little scabby things I have on my face right now from where that stuff was poking out. But it does even my skin tone out, especially right now in the, I really like this sponge by Luxie. So that is the way that I do my foundation. I don't put it on real thick and heavy. I don't do anything traumatic. It looks like my face is a little bit lighter on screen. I must have, it's probably because of the light, but it really does melt into my skin fairly well. So there's that, okay? Like I said, I usually don't wear foundation, but I am just putting on a little bit today for you guys. So the next thing that I do is I will put on a little bit of concealer, not under my eyes, because I have not found a concealer that will conceal this without it looking cakey and worse than what it does naturally. So I just skip the concealer underneath my eyes. I don't know if most women who have mature older skin have that same problem as me, but I do always put down a base just for my eyeshadow. And again, I have mature skin, so it will crease a little bit in there, so I like to put a little bit of concealer down just to help get the eyeshadow to stick a little bit, of course. And I'm just gonna go in here with my sponge and pat that out. The concealer that I'm using today is the Kokie Be Bright Illuminating Concealer. I got this in a subscription box too. The concealer for me is really not that big of a deal. It just gives me that sticky foundation that I need for my eyeshadow. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna just take this. I'm not a brow girl. You won't ever see me shape my brows out or any of that jazz. I'm not a makeup artist. This is just what I do on an everyday situation. This is the $1 Billion Brow pencil. I got this also in a subscription box. And all I'm going to do is go in just to give my brows a little bit of extra color. I just go in and kind of tint them, if that makes sense. My brows are funny. My left brow grows differently than my other brow, and I have very sparse brows. And I always have. I've never had really thick and luscious brows. And I just run this spoolie through just to kind of make sure there's no little extra chunks in there. And that is all I do with my brows. And some days I don't even do that. So as you can see, this brow grows completely different than this one. And I find that if I go and try to have my brows done, they usually make one really, really thin and leave one really, really thick. So I just tend to not mess with that at all. So next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Ciate London Extraordinary Translucent Setting Powder. This just happens to be the one that I had out closest to me. I do use the Laura Mercier one as well. And I will, even if I am not wearing foundation, I would just skip. I would put my moisturizer on, and then I would put this transluting setting powder all over my face. I don't generally, I'm not a bronzer or any of that jazz, so I just will go through here and brush this down just to kind of help that foundation set a little bit better so it doesn't go anywhere. And then on the days that I don't wear foundation, which is 99% of the time, I put this right over the top of my moisturizer that I put on, that Murad moisturizer that I've been using. I will put this right over the top of that just to even out my skin just a little bit and go about my day. I just like, you know, sometimes I work in a doctor's office, so sometimes I get really hot and sweaty depending on how fast we're working and what we have to do. My main job in the doctor's office is all the blood work and all the stuff like that. So, you know, sometimes I can draw 50 or 60 people's blood a day. So, sometimes I get sweaty, so I just like to have that little bit of translucent setting powder on my face so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then the next thing that I will do is I'm just going to put a little bit of blush over the top of that. This is my most favorite blush, and I'm going to be really sad. You can see that I've used the snot out of it, and I'm going to be really sad whenever I use it all up because this is Space Case in Cosmic Gangster. It is kind of like a cream blush, but I love it so much. But the blush itself is like $20 a blush, so it's not something that I'll probably buy unless I get it in a subscription box. And I just gently go through just to give my face a little bit of color. Like I said, I am not a beauty guru, nor do I feel like I need to do all that kind of stuff. Whenever I was a lot younger, I was obsessed with makeup, but now I'm busy, you know? So I just don't, and I have too many other things. I just don't have a lot of time to be messing with my face. You know, I work. If I didn't work, then it might be a different story, but you know, I do work and I love my job. I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of eyeshadow on. And again, this is something, like I said, that I just do in the morning time. Okay, so I got this Iconic London palette. This is what I've been using the last couple of days in my BoxyCharm last month, and I'm just gonna go in and use a couple shades here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this shade called Marshmallow, which is picking up white in the pan, but it's actually like a taupe color, and I'm just going to put that all over my lid just as a little base. I tend to not do too dramatic of a situation here because, like I said, I'm just trying to get out the door in the morning. If I was going out, then I would do a little bit more of a fancier eye, but because this is just supposed to be my really quick, I can get this done, all of these steps, in 10 to 15 minutes, which is really the only time that I have to do this. So, and it looks like I have redness on my chin, but it really is not there, so that's weird. Anyway, so then I'm gonna go into the shade Girl Boss. And when I go to work, I usually just do one solid color over the eye. If I'm going out somewhere, then I will make a halo eye or do something fancier with my eyeshadow. But just going to work, I don't tend to do that. So I'm just putting this Girl Boss shade in all over the eyelid there and kind of just buffing it out a little bit. I don't tend to bring it up or do anything fancy with it if I'm just going to work. And it looks a little bit more purple in the pan, but this color is more of a pinky. Obviously it's pink, you know, it's more pinky than it is purple once you apply it. And I like using pinky shades or mauve shades because my eyes are like a hazel color, and it tends to just make my eye color pop a little bit whenever I have like a pinker shade on. I use a lot of neutral tones, pink tones, and then like browns. And this is kind of like a shimmer. Okay, so that is basically all I'm going to do. There is a little bit of fallout with this palette, so I'm just gonna pick that up with that wet sponge there. And that's it. That's all I do with my eyeshadow. And then what I'm gonna do now is go in with my, this is by L'Oreal. This is the Voluminous primer, and I've been using this primer for years and years and years and years with every single mascara that I've ever used. And I am just going to coat my eyelashes like so. It's tough work. The mascara for me is tough work. If I'm going out also, I will do like a wing liner, but when I go to work, I don't. I just kind of put the primer down and then just, you know, use the mascara, and that's how I roll. I think it's almost time for a new tube. I really hope that L'Oreal never stops making this product because like I said, I have been using this since the product came out, and it's been years. And then I just go in with my Thrive mascara. This is the Liquid Lash Extensions. This is by far my favorite mascara. I have not found, there's several good mascaras on the market, but I have never found any that I like better than this one. You can see that wand right there. I think the wand and probably the formula is everything when it comes to the way this product works. But it really does extend your lashes and give you kind of the look of false lashes without having false lashes on. I can't work false lashes. I've tried and tried and tried to figure out how those things go on, and I just can't. Like, I don't have the patience to let the glue dry or nothing like that. I just don't. So I just stick with mascaras that will, you know, give my lashes volume and also lift them. I probably have, you know, my eyelashes are not the worst thing on me. And I tend to find that if I wear mascara, you know, most days, that it kind of has trained my eyelashes to just do what I want them to do. So yeah, that's the way that is. And that's that. I like my eyelashes, again, grow slightly different on this side than they do on this side, but nonetheless, I mean, that's probably as good as you can get these eyelashes without putting falsies on, and I'm not mad at it. okay? And like I said, I use the combination of the L'Oreal primer and Thrive Cosmetics mascara right now, and I'm living for it. The last thing I'm gonna do is just put a little bit of highlight. I'm gonna take the shade Iconic down here. It's kind of a golden shimmer shade, very light golden, and I'm just gonna tap that in there and tap that in there like so, just to give it a little extra. When I'm working, I do not put mascara on my bottom lashes because it'll just, if I get to sweating and whatnot, it'll just come down. And then the last thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take this Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palette, and I'm gonna use this shade down here, this pinker shade. And I'm just going to run that right over the top. I just literally dip my brush in one time, shake it off, and then I'm just gonna little bit run that over that blush, just to give that blush a little extra, little blingy bling. This light probably doesn't do that justice. And that is all that I do. That's it. It literally takes me 10 minutes. I don't do much. Sometimes I'll take that leftover and put that up here and put it down here of that little highlighter, just to give my face a little extra glow. But that is all that I do when I get ready in the morning for work. That's it. Not bad. Not bad at all. Anyway, guys, I hope that answered your guys' questions that have been wanting me to do this kind of video. Legit 10 minutes, everyday look, 40 years old. This is what I walk out of the house looking like every day. I hope it's not scary. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button down below, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. It really does mean the world to me. If you would like for me to do more of these videos, just let me know in the comment box below. Maybe you would like a skincare routine or something like that at night. Just let me know. I'm here to help. Anything that you might have questions about, I'm sure other people do, so just leave me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.